Welcome to the Melinda Eitzen Show. I'm Melinda. Today, we are so privileged to have with us Judge Danielle Diaz Clark, who is a sitting judge in Dallas County in family court. Welcome, Judge.
Thank you for having me today. How are you?
Really good. I'm so glad you're here. It's such an honor.
Thank you for having me.
So we were figuring out beforehand, how long had I been seeing you in court, arguing in front of you in court? 11 years.
Yes, 11 years.
And congratulations, you just won your primary. You're going from being an associate judge to a district judge, and you have no opponent in the general.
Correct. I'm excited.
But we can still vote for you in November, true?
Yes, I'm going to be on the ballot. I need one vote.
I volunteer. I'll vote.
Okay, I'm hoping that I won't get sick or anything, so I'll be there. My husband is, he's going to vote for me. He should, but
so.
And then my mom. I got my mom.
I think you're covered.
Yes, my godfather. I got a couple of people out there, best friends. So hopefully I can get that.
Work out.
Yes, hopefully.
So what is the court number you're in now, and what court number will you be in January?
So for the past 11 years, I've been an associate judge for the 330th under Judge Andrea Plumley. And so I just ran for the 301st District Court, which is also a family court. And that was Judge Mary Brown's court, and she's retired.
Well, I have mixed feelings about you going to the district bench because we're actually in front of the associate judges more than we're in front of the district judges. But I think it's good for Dallas. You're going to do a great job as you have been. So thank you for serving as a judge.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, one thing I will say, just to add to that, is that I will still kind of implement some of the things that I'm doing now as an associate judge, as a district judge, so you can still see me.
Yes.
Yes.
I like that. I appreciate that.
Yes.
And we know Judge Plumley is running for Court of Appeals.
Yes, Court of Appeals.
So we don't know yet about the outcome of her race, but we're hopeful. I'm a big fan. She's been on the bench a long time and excellent.
Yes.
Okay, well, we are going to kind of have what I think of as a public service podcast today.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
You and I have both seen a lot of marriages. Unfortunately, we're seeing them at their worst point, when they're ending, although some need to end, so it's not always unfortunate. But what are some tips from your perspective, the perspective of a family court judge? What are some tips of things people could do to save their marriage? Don't end up in front of you. Don't end up having to hire me.
Well, the first thing I say is communication.
Yes.
Communication. There are so many times people come into the court and they didn't talk. They didn't even talk about coming to court. They don't even know why they're there. They don't even know why someone filed divorce. And the first thing that I say is, why are you here?
Yes.
And usually someone starts saying the things and they're like, I didn't know that's why we're here. I can fix those things.
It's often too late at that point.
It is.
Because the person who has gotten fed up and filed, they've kind of mourned the marriage while they're in it.
Correct.
So they need to, a year back, listen and communicate. And communication is one of those things you've heard before. Everybody's heard that before. It almost sounds trite, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or easy, but it isn't easy.
It's not.
To be a really effective communicator. I love Brene Brown. Have you ever read her or heard of her, Brene Brown?
I've heard of her, but I've never read it.
Yes, she has. She kind of became famous because she did a TED Talk. And she's a very good TED Talker. But she's a sociologist at University of Houston. So she's done all the research. It's not just her personal opinion.
Right.
And she talks a lot about vulnerability and connection and communication. And it's worthy of people reading material like that and studying and learning how to be a good communicator, because we're not naturally good at it, apparently.
That's true. That's true. And, a lot of times people, they don't communicate. If something is bothering you, you hold it inside. You should communicate that with your significant other, because now your significant other will understand why you're not saying anything or why you're feeling a certain type of way. I see a lot of people that come through the court, they're just overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed with being a parent, a significant other, a leader at work, a leader at church, a leader on the basketball team or soccer team. They're tired, and then they have to come home and be a leader at the home. And so you have to communicate. And so one of the things that I've learned is if I come home and I see some shoes in the middle of the floor, I don't start screaming saying, "Why are these shoes in the middle of the floor?" I don't do that. If I don't want to pick them up, I say, "Why are these shoes in the middle of the floor? Should they be in the middle of the floor? Where do they go?" I have a different approach as to how I handle things at home, because you see people bickering all day in court.
Yeah, so you have a don't sweat the small stuff.
Right. The dishes could be in the sink. I'm not gonna sweat the dishes being in the sink. I may just start washing them myself. And then everyone's like, "Oh, well, let me help mommy. Let me help her." So I just think communication, and if you can't do it, you have to communicate. I can't do this today. A lot of times we don't want to say what we can't do, but you have to communicate.
And to your point, you said people hold it in. I'm kind of that way. I'm a stuffer, I would say, because I don't want to be a nag, or I don't know how to say it in a productive way. So it's easier just to stuff it. But guess what? It's going to come out eventually.
And when it comes out, oh boy, it's like, wow, I didn't know you felt like that.
Yes, it's not in a healthy way sometimes if you've stuffed too much in there. So there are people out there, counselors, life coaches, pastors, people at church, people in community who can help people. They can help facilitate conversations between spouses.
Yes, that's true. I remember when, before my husband and I got married, our pastor, he set us down. And he set us down and he says, "You guys are about to get married, and I want you to write down how much do you think you put in and he puts in."
Oh, how interesting.
And I didn't understand it. And so here I go, I'm writing down my number. And then as the years went by, I understood what he meant by that. Some days you're at 100%, and some days you're at 50%, and some days you're at 0%.
Yeah.
You got zero to give. And so that other person has to step in, and they may have to give that 100%. But I didn't understand it at the moment.
Oh, that's a great analogy. A great way to look at it is, I think it's easy because the spouse is the person in front of us to say, "I don't feel good. It's your fault," or "You're to blame," or "You have to pick up the slack," or "Why aren't you doing?" Because I feel like I'm overdoing. When in truth, we may need to say, maybe we both have too much on our plate.
Let's try to figure this out.
I tend to say yes to too many things.
Same here.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I'd be great at that. Sure, I'll do that. And then some point I have to go, oh, I have to start saying no, a healthy no. This is my new deal. I say, I would, you're right. I would be great at that. Whatever it is. But usually it's running an organization, right? Would you like to be on the board? Would you like to run it? I used to just always say yes. Now I say, you need some really active, good members. That's what I'm going to be. An active, good member. So I'm giving you a healthy no.
Exactly. No, I love that. Same over here. My resume was completely full.
Yeah.
And I started to saying no. It's hard though. It is really hard, especially when I love doing things.
And you think, oh, I should. And whenever it starts with I should, that's not good. But I should help in my community. I should help at church. I should help at the school. But my mom gave me advice when I was a young mother. She said, you don't have to do everything that you should do or want to do this year. I was like, oh, good point.
I like that this year.
Right. I can help in my community at some phase of my life. I'm going to have time to help in my community. And at another time, I can be a leader at church. And at another, so that was pretty profound to me because I was thinking, well, I have to do it all right now and raise small children and run a law firm. That would be great.
I like that. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna put that in my journal.
Yes. Advice from Sally Hartman. Okay, one thing I'm seeing in my practice, and I wonder if you're seeing it from the bench, that is causing people's marriages to fail is using things they should not be using quite so much of. Drinking
Yes.
too much, drugging too much, gambling too much, being angry too much.
Absolutely. I see that. And when by the time they get to court, you see that there was a spouse that was telling the other person there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where communication comes in at, because
Mm-hmm.
you can't hold in. If there's a problem, you can't hold it in until you can't take it anymore. When you see that there's a problem, address the problem.
Yes.
Address the problem. Address how you want that other person to deal with the problem. Do you want them to go to rehab? Do you want them to go seek counseling? And then another thing is, a lot of people, they're not honest with their counselor, their therapist.
Right. They cannot help you if you lie to them.
It's all self-reporting.
Right. It relies on that completely.
So what I see in marriages that are successful when there is a problem is the spouse actually attending those appointments. Not every appointment, because it is personal, but some of those appointments to make sure that they have everything that they need to know.
Is a great
Yeah.
idea.
I see.
Because they may truly, like, some of it they're fibbing, right? But some of it they truly may not have very much self-awareness.
Right.
But their spouse knows what's going on.
They may not think they lashed out at you or have an anger problem.
Right.
But their spouse can explain what that actually looks like. So.
And unfortunately, you and I get to hear videos, see videos and hear tape recordings
Yes.
of people's anger regularly.
Exactly. And I say, well, how do you think that made the other person feel? That's the first thing. Because sometimes you may say something just to get it out, but you didn't realize how it made the other person feel.
Right.
And that's my biggest thing. You said that, you did that. So how do you think your spouse felt?
I remember a nugget I took from a CLE that was about personality disorders. And the nugget I took away was, if somebody has no ability to self-reflect, that's a sign of a personality disorder. And so I'll ask my own client, well, what is your percentage failure of the marriage? How much of that do you take accountability for?
Right.
And when they say 0, we're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
Those are hard cases to settle.
Yes.
Because they do not think they have any personal responsibility. Now, I'm not saying it's always equal. There might be kind of a bad actor, so to speak, who would not get help or whatever else, but it's never 0.
Right. That's true. And I will say, just to kind of add with that, when I'm on the bench, sometimes I like to interview the children.
Yeah.
I like to get the children's perspective, because sometimes the spouse perspective is a little different. They're seeing the parent in a different light. But if I get the children's perspective, then I can kind of see, because it's all about the children.
Yes.
By the time they get to me, it's about the children.
Yes.
If I can save a marriage, I'll save a marriage, but it's really mainly about the children.
Yes.
And so I get their perspective to see, how do you feel about that parent?
What age are you comfortable interviewing? Age of children? What age range?
It just depends. I tell people, I always ask the parents, how mature is your child?
Oh.
Because there are some 6-year-olds that are very mature. They're washing dishes, they're taking care of the household. 6-year-olds. And then you got some 6-year-olds that are, when you interview them, they're just looking around, trying to figure out where the playground is.
Right.
So it just depends on
the 6-year-old.
It depends on the 6-year-old and what is it that I'm needing to get out.
So it could be as young as 6 and then up to 18, I assume.
Yes.
Do you find on the whole kids are pretty open with you?
Absolutely.
They're truth tellers on the whole.
Yes. And when they're not telling the truth, they start crying. And I give them a moment. And then remember, in the office, it's green. The bar has been so wonderful in donating different things for us.
Oh,
We have teddy bears, so we're able to give them things, and also keep snacks. I love a good snack.
Me too.
I love a good snack. I keep milk, chocolate milk, and water in my office.
Oh, that's great.
No sodas, but I keep little things in there to give them to make them feel more comfortable.
That's
And then they
great.
usually, they warm up to me and they tell me everything I need to know.
Do you typically do that after you've had the hearing?
It depends.
Mm-hmm.
It depends. Every case is different. I typically like to interview before, but there are some situations where I interview after. If someone has to go get a child and they're bringing a child to the courthouse, I may do it just for time purposes, but it just depends.
So you're not offended if somebody says, Judge, we'd like you to interview the kids?
I'm not, but it depends because sometimes I will let family court services do it. Family court services, the thing about them is that they're going to give a thorough, detailed report of what exactly is going on. And so that allows the attorneys, that helps you guys out. That allows you guys to read it. If I do it, it's more of an emergency.
Yes.
I need to know right now what is going
happening.
on.
Yes.
So it just kind of depends because when I do it, you don't get a report.
Right.
If you have a court reporter, I'll give a summary, but just overall, there's no report for you all.
Yes. Well, it's sad that somebody would reach a point in their life where their child had to be interviewed in court by the judge or by family court services. But as you said, when it gets to that point, we really have to prioritize protecting the children.
Right.
And sometimes they're the ones that have the only true the truth perspective of what's going on.
And sometimes you get a lot of kids that don't even know the confrontation that the parents are having.
Well, that's good that they're protecting them.
Right. So then when you have that, then you know that the problem is between the parents.
Yes.
And so now the parents, they're out of that situation where they're living together. So now we have the child. So now we can figure out the best plan for the child.
Yes.
Because the child doesn't even know that you guys are acting up, is what I call it.
Earlier in my career, I felt like people did a better job than they are currently. And maybe it's just the cases I've had this last year, but of shielding the children from the alcohol and drug abuse.
Oh.
I felt like in the old times, they would just do it when their kids weren't around. And now they're just doing it in front of everybody, passing out in front of them,
And
involving the children.
The kids are videotaping it.
I know. It's so horrible. I mean, it's really, in my mediation practice, they all want to show me the videos. And I'm reaching a point of, I'm not a decision maker. I'm not a finder of fact in mediation. I'm there to facilitate. I believe you. It's horrible. I don't want to see it. I was getting so traumatized by some of these videos. So one of our tips is don't do all that crap to your kids or in front of your kids, and go get help if they have an alcohol problem or drug problem. And I wonder if it's all still related to COVID. I mean, COVID was bad, but aren't we far enough removed that that's no longer the effect of this?
Yeah, but sometimes it's just knowing the truth about it, right? And accepting and knowing what's going on and how it's making people around you feel.
Yes.
So sometimes those videos are good because then they can see the truth behind it because they may not know what really happened.
It is shocking. I mean, it's one thing to say on the stand, oh, he talks really mean, and it's another to play a audio
to hear it
of somebody raging, and then you're like, whoa, that's bad.
No one wants to stay in a household like that.
Right. Okay, so besides protecting children from abuse and this whole overuse of substances, what are some other tips of what parents could do to be better parents? And if they are in family court and they are going through a divorce, sometimes there's a temptation to over-involve the kids. What are your tips about that?
Definitely don't over-involve the children. Don't use the children as a way to communicate.
Yes.
I tell parents that don't get along. You'll be surprised if your children see you two getting along. They will be like, wow, what is really going on here? Mom and dad are actually liking each other.
Yeah.
I encourage parents to go eat together as a family.
Oh, that's interesting.
If you just attended an event at the child's school and then you all go out together to celebrate that child, the child will be sitting there like, what is going, are we really here together? But when I believe that when the parents come together, the children, they succeed.
It's really being a good co-parent.
Yeah. Being a
to
good
just
girlfriend.
demonstrate that I can still be respectful, say hello at the soccer game. I mean, ideally, sit together at the soccer game.
Absolutely.
I mean, some people can't do it, right? We've had cases where they will not speak to each other. Can you imagine? They can't even say a polite, just good day to each other.
But how does it make the child feel?
Oh.
The child comes off of the soccer field and they don't know who to go to first.
They're in a loyalty bind now, right? Between these two parents. So the best gift to give your children is, even if you're divorcing, just fake it and be polite.
Just co-parent. I think co-parenting is healthy for the children. It's healthy.
Does your court require any type of co-parenting course, like Children in the Middle or
No.
Between Two Homes?
No. We don't. We do order it when it's needed.
Yes.
Yes. Because here goes the thing. There are, believe it or not, there are more people that come through the court every day that have an agreement. They have an agreement to separate. They have an agreed order. They come in. We do a pro se docket every the pro se docket is on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday mornings. We do a pro se docket. And those pro ses, they're coming in with their paperwork and they're just asking us to sign off on it. They have an agreement. So everybody doesn't need to go through a co-parenting court.
Yes. Because they're just two nice people who don't want to be married anymore. And they're being nice to their children. They're not the stories that we're talking about.
And you know, I have had quite a few cases in the past year where parents are divorcing and they're still living in the same household.
For money? Is it because of expense?
For the child.
Wow.
Yeah. And the order is saying that, and I'm not sure which attorney is helping them. A lot of them are pro se, but the orders are saying that when the child graduates, then that's when they will move out of the home. They're doing it for the children.
Wow. But what about the new spouse or?
Well, I asked those questions. I had one recently where I had to ask the question. I said, so question, you're having this room, they're having this room. Are they allowed to bring, because I don't see anything in this order. Are they allowed to bring another person in?
Right.
And they said, absolutely not. I said, well, it doesn't say that in the order. So let's add that sentence in here.
Right.
So we added that
Be a
sentence.
little miscommunication.
But it is extremely common.
That is interesting.
Yes.
I've seen people do nesting at the beginning of the case, especially.
No, this is the end.
Wow. You know, sometimes they don't move out right away because it's expensive to go the same amount of money coming in. Now we're going to support two homes. But to do it intentionally for the benefit of the children, that's pretty impressive. And then I guess if they remarry, they could move out. One of them could move out, or they could
I think the intention might be after the child graduates.
Then they would move
They would move on.
Maybe these are older children.
Typically they are. They're not young. I'm seeing more high school children.
Yeah.
And they're saying it's just the stability for the child.
Let's just
the
get them
homework
through high
schedule.
school.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm seeing. So
that's very child focused.
Yeah.
I have to compliment that.
Yes, it's happening.
That's encouraging. Do you think the divorce rate is up, or are fewer people getting married? So there's fewer people getting divorced, or are you just as busy as you've ever been?
I think I'm just as busy as I've ever been. I think that there are some, when I'm looking at some cases, they got married on January 1st. They moved out on January 3rd, and they're in court on March the 30th because it's been 60 days. And then I'm seeing people that were married 40 years ago.
Yes, there's more of that now.
Yeah.
Than there used to be. More what some people call a gray divorce, just meaning they're older people getting divorced. It shocks me. I had a call recently and I said, so how old? Oh, 91. I was like, what is the point at 91? Like, you can't take it another second after 5 years and you're 91. But I think what's happened maybe is we've lived long enough that it's no longer socially unacceptable.
Correct. I think that's probably the main thing. And then also, you know, when I see the short divorces, people, they're not asking the questions. They're not asking,
Right.
they the simple questions could be, if we live together, are you going to clean up? I mean, I'm seeing it all.
Yes, to march out that quickly, certainly something
Something
strange
strange
was
is
not
going on.
known.
Right. And so, they didn't know the person had a criminal record, or
Oh.
they didn't know they were married before. And I'm thinking, you didn't ask those
Ugh.
questions?
Yes. What about red flags? Do you feel like most people, when you hear their story, that there was a red flag before they even got married? Or is it more, there was no red flag and these people just were acting better back then? They're not acting so good.
I think the longer you know someone, is you see those red flags. But sometimes I'm seeing short, quick divorce marriages, and then they have a quick divorce. So I think if you have a quick marriage, you might not see those red flags until after.
Yeah.
So it kind of just depends.
I had one case, and my client was the wife, and she was pregnant, and her husband threw her across the room while she was pregnant in the bedroom and slammed her against the
Red
wall.
flag.
Right. But now she's already married to him and pregnant, all that. So she's getting divorced. But she said, when she was telling me kind of the big picture story, she said, when we were dating, we were in the line of Taco Bell in the car, and he got mad at me and he pushed me out of the car and drove away at Taco Bell at 2 a.m. And I thought, and you married him? Like, that is such a red flag.
Yeah.
Not a big shock that years later he's throwing you across the room if he would do that. Like, if somebody pushed me out of the car at Taco Bell, we would never see each other again. That would be it.
I agree. I think also maybe meeting family.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that come through the court, and I ask them, well, have you talked to their family? 'Cause they can't find the person. And they're like, I don't know any family. I think that's a red flag. If you are marrying someone and you don't know their family, you don't know their friends, you don't know where they work at, those are some red flags.
Yeah, that's almost an imposter, fraud, weird
But
situation.
it's happening a lot.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
My mom said when I was young, you need to see somebody in every season. And she meant not just happy dinner and a movie, but when their car breaks down and when things don't go right, they lose their job, how do they react? So you also need to know their family and friends.
Right. You need to know how they react when they lose a parent.
Yes.
I didn't experience death until later on in life, and my husband was there when my father died, and that was big for me.
Oh, yes.
I didn't want to talk to no one. I didn't even want to talk to him.
Yes, losing a parent. I lost both of mine. It's a huge loss.
Right.
And you can't really understand it until you go through it.
Until you experience it. But there are some people that lose a parent, and they also lose a spouse.
That's sad, isn't it? That's true with when people have a child who is ill or they lose a child, it's very hard for marriages to survive that sometimes.
Right.
I've had many cases where the child is ill or disabled and they don't agree on the care. And that's really what divides their marriage, or they just cannot get on the same page. And they're both wanting, that's their whole life, has become their whole life is caring for this child, but they don't agree about it. And that's so sad.
Yeah. That happens.
Yes. So there are challenges in life that can cause a challenge to a marriage, but don't add to them by using illegal substances.
That's true. And don't forget to communicate. And they got to communicate.
Don't gamble. That's not necessary either. But addiction is real, like all types of addiction. I would say I'm addicted to sugar, but that doesn't ruin your life quite as much as some of these.
Well, it can. It
can become a health problem.
Yes. And then someone else has to deal with it. They have to take you to the hospital.
Yes. So I'm trying to get it under control. But I say all these things lightly, like it's easy, but I know it's not.
Right.
It's not. And that's why people have to get help and not just say, I'm going to stop tomorrow. And then they just continue this horrible circle, apologize and give flowers. And being dishonest.
I think that
Oh,
you have that a lot in marriages as well. So you have to be honest.
yes, yes, yes. It's strange, some of the dishonesty I've seen, like a hidden credit card, or they quit their job or lose their job and they don't tell their spouse.
Right.
Can you imagine?
And the thing about it is they find out when they go to the doctor and they don't have insurance.
Oh, exactly. They always find out. Just tell them.
So you have to be honest. I tell people you have to be
Yes.
honest. You have to be honest. Sometimes my husband, I don't know how he knows when I'm shopping. But he'll, what are you doing? And I'm just like, he said, you must be shopping.
Well,
So yeah.
that could be an addiction too.
Yes, yes, I think so. But it's a healthy addiction.
It is. Well, it could be stress relieving.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Oh, well, Judge, we are so happy to have you on the bench. Thank you for serving the citizens of Dallas.
Yes, thank you.
It's a challenging job, but you're really helping people every day.
Yes, thank you. And I enjoy it. I absolutely enjoy and love what I do. And I
That's
don't know what
wonderful.
else I would be doing.
Oh, well, good. Let's
Yes.
keep you on the bench for a long time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and take some of these tips, improve your life, and then you won't have to see Judge Diaz. But vote for her when she comes up in November, and then she'll be up again in 4 years. Tune in again next time.